In today's video, we're going to be going over my top 10 clone fragrances for spring of 2026. I've already covered my favorite designer picks. We're going to go over to clones next. Some of these are clones of niche fragrances. Others of these are clones of more expensive designers or even potentially discontinued designers. But no matter what way you look at it, when you make a purchase of one of these, you're spending less than you would be if you were buying that original designer or niche. So this is a great option if you just don't want to spend a ton of money and you want to stretch your dollar further. You can get more bang for your buck essentially because you can get a variety of scents for less money. So we got 10 of them here to go through like always. When it comes to the ranking order, 10 versus number 1, it's hard. And just the fact that they're all in this video is saying something. They're all very good. Take the ranking itself with a grain of salt because that part can move a little bit. We're going to start off with number 10. This is a clone of a discontinued designer scent. It's Rasasi. It's Essential, okay? This one is a clone of YSL L'Homme Ultime, the beautiful ginger-based scent. Anybody who's been around for a while now would remember L'Homme Ultime and how popular it was and how much impact it had on the fragrance community. I mean, it was really, really widely known and well-loved in the community, I should say. I think that it's probably the type of scent that didn't do as well outside of the community, hence the discontinuation, but who knows. So it's ginger-based, citrusy as well, a little bit woody, but this is the smell of spring right here. That L'Homme Ultime ginger smell, the woods, and this Rasasi bottles it up perfectly. I think this is around like $30, something like that, maybe even $25 on discounters. Really, really good price. And I will link everything to discounters down below as well. But yeah, if you want to smell that original L'Homme Ultime smell that you've probably heard about, but you just can't find anywhere, the Rasasi is going to get you as close as you can get. And this is an eau de parfum too, which I think L'Homme Ultime might have been. I'm not 100% sure, but I know this one is. And it has decent performance for what it is. Not a beast mode scent. This type of DNA is not really conducive to being a really high performer, but it does get the job done. Okay, now that last one was not a beast mode scent. This next one at number 9 is a powerhouse, an absolute monster of a performer. This is Lattafa Atlas, okay? And this is actually a clone of this guy right here. It's Orto Parisi Mega Mare. Now, you might be thinking, this is a marine scent through and through. It might be more of a summer scent. Why is it in the spring video? Well, I would agree with that thought process. I would really think the same thing. Maybe this should be a summer scent, but when you smell this stuff, it is so powerful, so marine, salty, ambergris based that yes, you absolutely could wear it in the summertime, but for me, I prefer a little bit of a temperature pushback on this because of how strong it is, meaning I don't want like 95 degrees or even 85 degrees and sunny on this necessarily. It's a bit too heavy for that. I would like some spring weather, maybe 60, 65, potentially even to where maybe you still have a long sleeve or a hoodie on and wearing this because it really does a good job of giving you that feeling of warmer weather. It just gives you that impression of like an oceanic marine smell, but yet it's not bright. It's very heavy, very deep blue smelling. And so that's kind of why I placed it in the spring video. I think I already listed off most of the notes there off the top of my head, but what I have written down is sea notes, salt, ambergris, and oak moss. And you get all of those really. Again, I want to iterate, this is not aquatic, but it is very much marine. Heavy, strong marine, salty, deep, rich, oceanic. The oak moss really gives it kind of a green type of smell too, which maybe is something that makes sense because both the coloration of the liquids on each has a bit of a green tint to it versus blue, which is kind of, I guess, an interesting choice for the brands. I know Lattafa is just following what Orto Parisi did, but interesting that they landed on this green color first. But honestly, it kind of works. It is a marine green scent. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for everybody. This is not a designer level scent. If you want unique, you would want to check this out, but if you want to play it safe, I would skip this one. But I wanted to throw it in here because this Lattafa is super affordable and it is probably about the strongest scent in this video. Very, very high performer and a good one for spring. This next one here is Designation Platina by Pendora Scents. You could probably take a pretty good look at the name of the bottle and understand what this one is. It is a clone of Chanel Platinum Egoist, which I have loved for years. One of my favorites from Chanel, and it's just kind of underrated. Not unknown, but Doesn't get nearly the amount of love as Bleu de Chanel and any of the Allure fragrances, but I've always really liked it. It's kind of an aromatic fougere, but with a modern twist. So barbershop leaning, but it doesn't smell old school either. It's like a modern barbershop, you know, something where it has more of a kind of a trendy smell to it. Now, it's not a blue scent or anything like that. Don't think that, but it's just more of a modernized, soapy, clean smell. It's lavender forward, of course, with a bunch of other aromatic notes and geranium, kind of green mintiness. It's just, again, it's fresh, clean, and soapy, but not blue fragrance soapy and not shower gel soapy. It's more like premium bar of soap soapiness, like an expensive bar of soap you would use at like a high-end resort or hotel is kind of what this smells like, or like a really premium deodorant. Kind of sounds funny, but that's just how I've always looked at it. You know, again, aromatic fougere, but with a modernized touch, and it's perfect for spring. I mean, you could wear this all year round, but it does work great in spring. Moving into number 7, we have Maison Asrar Vision. This is an eau de parfum 100 ml bottle here, and really, really cool looking bottle. Interesting. You can even see the atomizer there is offset too. So the way the cap sits on there is just like that. Can't see any of it because it's blurry. There we go. This is going to be a clone of Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill. Now, Pacific Chill could go either way too. You could wear this in spring for sure. You could also wear it in summer. Some might prefer it or say that it's better for summer, and hey, I can't necessarily disagree with you. I think it's a great summer scent. Very bright and lime based. It's green, you know, at least to me, because of that lime smell and some of the other notes that you get. So that kind of puts it into the could be spring, could be summer category. I went ahead and threw it in here for spring. You know, when I think of something like, I don't know, maybe Afternoon Swim by Louis Vuitton, that one might be more summer leaning for me versus spring. So everybody has those designations of kind of how they want to classify things, but just know it could go either way, which I think is good. You're not really put into a box with something like this. You buy it, you could just wear it when it's warm. Could be spring, could be summer, could be the beginning of fall, doesn't matter. But again, lime based, tons of like this lemon lime off the opening, very sour, very punchy, very, very bright and vibrant. And that's basically what carries you through the entirety of the scent. That's really what it's known for, the lime. And you pick up on it a lot. Because of how lime forward and sour it is, this is also the type of thing that might not be for everybody necessarily. Now, the good news is this is a fraction of the cost of the Louis Vuitton. I think this is typically going to be around $40. A little bit more expensive as far as clones go, but still not, you know, even getting close to the Louis Vuitton. That Louis Vuitton 100 ml is like over $300. I think it's $330 or something. So in terms of a blind buy, this one's going to be safer than that, but still know what you're getting yourself into. Lime forward, sour, kind of a head turner in that regard. Moving on to number 6, we have Killer Oud Revolution by Paris Corner. This is going to be an Homage Reflection Man clone, just the original Reflection Man, not the 45 Extrait. But this is, wow. It's so good, and it's really so accurate too. Reflection Man, if you don't know it, it's white floral. That's what it is. Very white floral, musky, a little bit bright, a little bit citrusy. Not fruity, but just a little citrus off the top. And that's basically the extent of it for the original version. Now, the Extrait, the 45 Extrait, has a bit more going on behind the scenes, but that's not what this is. This is really focusing in on the white florals and everything about Reflection Man, giving you this very premium, classy, and expensive smell. That's what this is. This is something that smells expensive. It smells premium, and I love it for that reason. Now, regular Reflection Man, I mean, you know, you're still going to be like, I don't know, probably $150 or more for 100 ml, probably more than that now that I think about it. And of course, the Extrait's way out of control pricey. This is going to be, I don't know, $30, $35. So again, savings is huge here and kind of to be expected, or at least we would hope so. But I really enjoy this one. Reflection Man DNA is hard to beat, especially for spring when you have the in-between seasons and weather. This next one is Lattafa Maahir Legacy. This is going to be a clone of Parfums de Marly Sedley. Another one that could go both ways, you know. You could maybe say that Sedley would be better for summer and Greenly would be better for spring. And hey, that's one way to put it as well. It's one of those deals where, at least for me, when it comes to something like Sedley, as soon as it gets warm out, I'm wearing it, you know, and spring comes first. So I'm wearing this first, and then I'll wear this into summer as well. I love Sedley. I love the smell, the DNA. It's one of those where I look forward to it a lot, you know, even throughout winter time. It's like, man, as soon as it warms up, I'm going to start wearing Sedley or the Sedley clone of my choice, which would be Maahir Legacy. This one is so good. Bright, green, fresh. It's kind of their take on a blue scent with a twist. Sedley has great performance, and yet so does this clone as well. And if I did mention it already, going to be around $40 for this one here as well. Good performer, great quality too. And even, you know, the cap has kind of the Parfums de Marly theme going there a little bit, which is pretty cool. I like the bottle. It's a fingerprint magnet. No matter how you do it, you wipe it off and you pick it up again and it's covered, but that's just how it is. Okay, now let's keep it moving. I completely missed that we're already into the top 5. So that was number 5. Number 4 is really good. Another Maison Asrar. This one is Vanguard. Now, this is going to be a clone of Creed Absolute Aventus. The note breakdown on Absolute Aventus is pretty big, as is regular Creed Aventus, and the idea is basically they're focusing on the heavier notes. So like a lot of the existing stuff is still there. The black currant, all the other fruits and citruses, the ambergris, the woods, the musk, everything, right? All of that stuff is there. But what they're doing is they're shifting more focus towards like more of a patchouli focus, more of a heavier richness. It's a little bit more sweet, more oak moss focus as well. And that's kind of what this is. It's kind of like, I don't know, I guess you could say it's more green, but I wouldn't necessarily call this a green scent either. I mean, they're focusing on patchouli and oak moss, which both are kind of green notes, but it still is a heavy, rich, dense, full-bodied scent. The way I would describe it, this stuff is like it's packed full of notes and smells and accords. It's very heavy, whereas regular Creed Aventus is a little bit more light, a little bit more airy, more uplifting even. I've always said that regular Aventus is a summer scent for me, even though maybe you could argue otherwise it's better for this or that. For me, I always wear Creed Aventus the most in summer typically. Now, Absolute Aventus or its clones, I'm going to shift that a little bit. I'm going to move it more towards spring or fall, given the obvious increased sweetness and heaviness that this one has. This is amazing. It is so impressive. I've said it before as I've covered these Maison Asrar fragrances. One of my favorite newer clone brands here, and as far as I'm aware, they're newer. At least I've been seeing them pop up more. I'm not exactly sure of the heritage of the brand. At least here in the US, they're starting to become more popular. I know Joma Shop primarily is one of the main websites that carries them right now, and that's where I first got mine. I think I started with Legacy, but this one, so good. If you want an Absolute Aventus clone, highly recommend this. Amazing performance, super strong, really cool presentation, very classy, doesn't look like a clone bottle, very sleek looking. I love it. All right, now we're going to be breaking into the top 3. This is where it gets interesting. The order could change at any point. This would likely be everybody's number 1 choice, but for me, it's gotten shifted around just to prioritize some other things here. But at number 3, we have Haramain Amber Oud. This is the Carbon Edition, which is going to be a Creed Green Irish Tweed clone, if you didn't know. These Amber Ouds, they're all called Amber Oud, and it can be a little bit confusing because then it leads you to believe that they all have oud in them, right? And so that immediately puts people off. They're like, I don't want oud, and you know, I understand, but just know, no oud in here. They have other clones in this lineup. They have Baccarat Rouge 540 clones in here, and I think some sort of like Bleu de Chanel type of Elysium hybrid, like blue scent take, a bunch of stuff. They don't have oud in them. I mean, a couple of these do, but not the ones I'm talking about anyway. So this one here, Green Irish Tweed clone, you've got that lemon verbena, violet leaf, ambergris smell with even a little bit of that iris that exists in Green Irish Tweed, just adding to that slight floral component. The iris is on the fresher side. It's not like a sweet Dior powdery iris. It's more of like, I guess you would say, a Pradalome iris, even though Green Irish Tweed came out years and years before that. It was 1985 is when that one was released. So, you know, obviously not pulling inspiration from anything like that. It's just, they use iris. It's just such a trendy note now that might lead people to think, oh, what kind of iris is it? And that's it. It's just a fresher iris. Green, vibrant, refreshing. I love Green Irish Tweed. I really do. Aventus is easily the star of the show. And it makes sense. I mean, it's an amazing fragrance. I mean, it's one of my favorite fragrances of all time, so I get it and I understand. But Green Iris Tweed has to be a close second for me. I really, really love this stuff. And I would say this. I would say if Creed Aventus did not exist, then Green Iris Tweed would by default be my most worn and most loved Creed fragrance easily. I mean, it's that good. It's right there behind Aventus. Probably followed then by maybe Silver Mountain Water, another favorite of mine that you just don't hear about as much. But Green Iris Tweed or Amber Oud Carbon Edition, beautiful for spring, which is no surprise, and I love it. Okay, at number 2, we have Rasasi Hawas Tropical. Now, this is going to be our Jean Paul Gaultier Labo Paradise Garden clone. And Paradise Garden, amazing for spring. It's a greener, fresher take on Labo EDT / Le Parfum, which was much needed. Those two are on the sweeter end of things for kind of a warmer weather scent. And, you know, you could wear Paradise Garden into summer as well if you wanted to, but the greener notes of it gives it more of a spring smell for me anyway. When I smell this, the first season I think of is spring. And I like it. I like it a lot. Still tropical, you know, but just kind of like a mintier, geranium greener take on this. And it's just fresher, and that's what I love. You could say that maybe Paradise Garden could be better used in summer and Labo Le Parfum better used in spring due to, obviously, Le Parfum is sweeter, Paradise Garden is a bit fresher, and that's a great way to look at it as well. This one has the ability to go both, right? You could wear it in spring right now, but you could also extend this one into summer because it is fresher. It's going to be easier to pull off overall, and I would make the argument that this one, Paradise Garden / Hawas Tropical, is a lot more versatile because of those reasons. Okay, at number 1, we've got this guy, Armaf Odyssey Omega, or I'm sorry, Armaf Odyssey Mega. It's just mega, okay? This is an eau de parfum. They say it's a limited edition, but it's still available, and this was made in 2022. This is cool. They put it right on the bottom there. Found this out last time I talked about it on video. Yeah, August of 2022. And they've got I don't know if that's an expiration date of 2027. ED. Anyway, this one, Y Eau de Parfum clone, really, really good take on YSL Eau de Parfum. Like, amazing. Apple forward, no surprise. You get the sage, you get the lavender, you get that geranium. All of the aromatics are in here and that amberwood. You get it all. And it's so, so good. This is probably the best YSL EDP clone. I think I mentioned it already, or maybe I didn't actually. Price, I think like $25, maybe even $30. Now, they have some more affordable clones of Y Eau de Parfum, which are really good. Like, they have some as cheap as like 17 bucks. Very good for 17 bucks. If you're wanting quality and performance first, you're gonna have to spend a little bit more and go for something like this. This is gonna be the best one, but it does cost a little bit more than some of the others, but it's not by a huge margin. Keep in mind, Y Eau de Parfum, even on discounters, is gonna be up over 100. I think I typically see it around 110, maybe 115 for 100 ml full presentation. Big savings with this. Now, Y Eau de Parfum, you can wear it in summer. It's one that I've worn in summer a lot over the years. Not everybody likes to, and there are times where I wouldn't, but you can. But if I had to choose like one season in particular, not just labeling it as an all year round type of scent, I would probably choose spring. I think it's good for spring. The apple kind of brightness, it just gives it this uplifting kind of happy smell, just puts you in a good mood. Great performer, great compliment getter. Armaf Odyssey Mega. Nice take on YEDP. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. My top 10 spring clone fragrances for 2026. I will drop links to them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.